Do you feel like you are hiding away, trying to be average, knowing that you're not? Do you feel like you are hiding away, trying to be average, knowing that you're not? I'm Jennifer Evans, a licensed mental health counselor and brain coach, here to help you understand what it's like to own your exceptional. If we look at the bell curve, we can understand that a good portion, 80% of people, are at the top of that bell curve. And what that means is that's kind of the average. Everyone kind of clumps together, but there are two wings at the end. And these outliers are where a lot of exceptional experiences and people lie. And what we find is as people are in these outlier positions, those pesky 4 barriers of trauma come pecking in, and they make us have scarcity mindset. What if there's nobody at the outlier that I'll be able to meet or have friends with or be able to like? What if there's nothing over there that, people will, maybe I'm not good enough, right? I'm fear of success. If I claim that I'm an outlier, what if I'm not smart enough or good enough for all the other outliers? What if I'm barely there? What if I'm not 1%, like even less than 1%, kind of coming down? So I'm not really exceptional. I'm not really average. And so we get in our heads and we get anxiety about where we are at. And so this video is about owning your exceptional, embracing life's outside the bell curve. And so what we find is when we embrace that outlier position, what we're doing is we're owning our value. We're realizing and accepting that we are not average, and we're not trying to say that we're better than average, right? We want to keep a humble experience, but we're saying that we're not necessarily, the reason why we feel so different is because we are different, and that's okay. It's okay to be different. It is. And so what we're doing is we're embracing ourselves, allowing ourselves to be outside of typical, outside of average, outside of the bell curve. And in order to do that, what we're doing is instead of diminishing ourselves to feel like we fit in, instead of saying, oh, it's not that big of a deal. I just wrote 4 books last year, only in 6 months, really. Everyone could do it. It was mostly, it's a scarcity mindset, right? It wasn't really me, right? I was just kind of taking things from other people. What we're doing is we're implicitly devaluing ourselves, trying to find a perceived expectation of what people want to see. And so it just keeps further pulling us into that negative dynamic. And so as we accept where we are and our position on the bell curve, we're accepting that there will be other opportunities that will match our excellence. And so that can be meeting the same people. There is actually a study that, maybe a couple of studies, I don't know how, not sure what the research actually is and how quantifiable the studies are, but basically they're saying that women are higher performing. So they're becoming the CEOs, they're becoming business owners, they're becoming college graduates, they're becoming top earners. And as they are breaking through the ceiling, the pool of available men to these women are becoming less and less. And so the dating pool is actually smaller as you become more exceptional or successful. And I say it's a bunch of bunk. Yes, maybe the exceptional men is becoming a smaller and smaller pool. So if you want 2 high achieving people, then maybe it is smaller. But the reality is you don't have to settle, but you can find your true self and find your human. And that may mean 2 exceptional people who are in a small percentage and 2 1%ers. But it also can mean that there is a there's a balance that you are seeking. That if you are seeking your career, that you find a partner who's seeking more of home. And there's a balance between that. And that's how it used to be, where men were the career seekers and women chose and really found value in their home. And there's nothing wrong with a change in the gender roles of the same exact thing. So I don't think the pool is getting smaller. I think the perceived expectation is getting narrower. And we know a narrow perceived expectation leads to a lot of suffering and despair. So when you are looking at kind of what this pool is, it really is how you relate to it and what your value is. And that there's a lot of value, and the pool becomes very big when your value and you make decisions connected to your value. But if you live in external validation, if you live in perceived expectations, it's a pretty small pool because you were narrowed in based on all of the cognitive distortions that you have. And so how do we get out of this? Step-by-step techniques to identify and celebrate your unique strengths. Awareness, acceptance, and action. Be aware of what your unique strengths are. Find where you are on the bell curve and own it. Own every drop of it. It doesn't matter where you are. I promise you, there is like 10 billion people out there. You're gonna find somebody. Own where you are on the bell curve. Then accept it. Acceptance isn't saying it's okay. It's not saying this is my value. It's saying this is the hand I'm playing with. And I'm going to do everything I can to maximize because I'm a successful person. And therefore I know that if I play the game and if I play the people, I'm going to win. It does not matter. You can give me as many 2s and 3s and 4s as you want to. I'm telling you I'm going to win with it. Because I know the game. I know myself. I know the value-driven decisions that I make. I'm going to win it. And then action. We build tools in my therapy and coaching programs. We build specific tools that are individualized to your specific need in order to be able to meet whatever it is, wherever you're at. There's tools to make you successful, to rewire that brain so that you have a purpose-driven life that is consistent. And it's a rewired neural network. It's not changing. It is lasting changes that we are making. And so how does this work in our workplace and our relationship and our personal growth? If we focus on what our values are and we make process-oriented decisions based on what our values are, and we accept that we are exceptional, then things will come to us that are reflective of our value. So if you know that you're exceptional, then don't downplay it. Don't find yourself settling for average. Own your exception. Own that you're an entrepreneur. Do you know how many times I got burned out? I went back on the hamster wheel, got burned out, said, I'm going to do it differently this time. I'm an independent contributor. I'm not going into leadership. I'm not going to get burned out. Found there was faults in and really terrible leadership, just lazy leadership. Got right back into burnout. I kept getting on the hamster wheel, falling off, being really upset, starting all over from scratch, coming back into it. Why? And as I build my business, as I think, oh, this is going to be such a growth opportunity. I can't wait to do this and I can't wait to do that. And I think, I've been here before. I wanted to do this in my 20s. I knew exactly what I wanted. I was too afraid. So I settled. I got on that hamster wheel. I got that predictable income. I went in. I did a government job. That's what you're supposed to do. Get that retirement. I went into corporate America. Really start working the ladder, Jen. Do it. This is what it is. This is what life is. This is what a career is. But at the end of the day, it was not until I owned that I was an entrepreneur that I found my happiness, that I found my joy, that I lost all the stress. Because I lived my truth and I found where my exceptional is. And remember that bell curve there's 1,000 bell curves out there. And somewhere you have a bell curve where you are exceptional. Find it, own it, and see where it'll take you. I'm Jennifer Evans with Empowering Wellness Counseling Solutions. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Today's insights helped you to reflect more on insights on how to live more intentionally in your relationships or in your professional or personal growth. Please give the video a like and thumbs up and share it with others who could also use the insight and support. Each week, I dive into these real strategies that are coming out of my book, Key Steps to Live a Happier and Healthier Life, Part 3, Interpersonal Effectiveness. So please be sure to subscribe and to join us each week to learn more about how to create deeper, more meaningful connections, set healthier boundaries, and live a purpose-driven life. All of the principles I teach in my workbook. Your growth matters. So thank you for being here. Let's keep building a happier and healthier life together, one step at a time.